Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really great guest on today. He's a graphic artist who frequently collaborates with forward-thinking creatives in music, architecture, curation, education, and more, pushing his traditional discipline of choice, letterpress printing. Please join me in welcoming Anthony Burrill. Welcome.
Hello, hi.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, question one, tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Um, I'm I call myself a graphic artist. So I suppose I work with typography and words, and I'm kind of on the boundaries between graphic design and fine art. So most of the time, I'm sort of developing and creating my own projects, making my own prints and creating exhibitions. And then sometimes I collaborate um, with other creatives and with brands sometimes as well. So yeah, I work on a real variety of projects. I graduated from the Royal College of Art in London back in 1991. And ever since then, I've just been pursuing my kind of creative um, outlets really in lots of different ways.
Great. And just a note for our audience, if you're interested in the typography episodes, please check out our most popular episode with Eric Speakerman. So question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
Oh, that's I think I think a key piece of knowledge would be to, I don't know, kind of just be true to yourself and, to kind of always pursue those things that make you really get excited about work. So, for me, it's, every week is kind of different in the studio. I get to work on lots of different projects, and I think it's pursuing that kind of level of freedom. That's something I've always been really conscious of, that I wanted to create create a space for myself that I could work in and be able to do the things I want to do. So I think it's that it's kind of pursuing a kind of goal that you kind of set yourself. Whether it's realistic or not, it's something that you should always aim for. So yeah, kind of be true to your own personal vision.
Great. And number three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Um, I think when I was a kid, kind of growing up, I was really obsessed with. Well, I was kind of curious about everything, really. Kind of music and art and photography, filmmaking, graphic design, fine art. I was always kind of drawn to those kind of creative disciplines. So it's something that I only realised when I went to college, that you could do all these things as a job, really. So yeah, for me, it was kind of discovering a world outside of the world that I grew up in. I grew up in a kind of fairly regular home, with kind of not really, none of my family were involved in arts, or kind of, they had kind of like fairly regular jobs. Um, so kind of discovering the world through art really was something that I was really excited about.
Great. And many struggle with number four, but the question is, what does your future look like?
Well, hopefully it's kind of similar to my past, really. That I still get to kind of work on projects that I'm excited and interested about, and kind of exploring new ways of working and new collaborations with different people. So yeah, I'm kind of pretty fairly well set in where I am as a person and where I am as a creative as well. So yeah, hopefully I can just kind of carry on doing what I love, really.
Great. And number five, we say is unique to this show. And the question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
I live I live in the south of England, on the south coast, near a town called Rye. And Rye kind of, dates back to, around the time of, the Norman conquest. So, it's over 1,000 years old. So yeah, it's an incredibly historic place to live. And I think those kind of connections with the past are kind of feel really important to me. I think my work kind of draws on the history of design and those kind of old typefaces that I use are kind of from a different era as well. So I think history and a sense of place is really important in my work. I've lived here for 20 years after living in London for 15 years. So yeah, this place kind of feels very special, and it's got a really kind of creative atmosphere. A lot of my friends who live here as well are creatives. So yeah, I don't know. I think the way that the place kind of injects meaning into my work is really important as well. So, maybe if I lived somewhere else, my work would have a kind of different feel to it. I'm not sure really.
Great. And six, if you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
I think it would be to believe in myself and, to realize that everybody else is kind of winging it as well. Nobody has the answer really. And I think when I was at college, I think I just kind of thought everybody else knew what they were doing, and I was the only one who didn't really know what they were doing. So I think it's kind of like reassuring myself that that I'd kind of get there in the end, and making all the kind of mistakes, and it's all part of the creative process, and kind of getting not necessarily positive feedback from the tutors. That was something that I found difficult, but again, it's part of learning, and it's part of the creative process to take on those different perspectives about your work, and to to develop your own voice and to develop your own interest.
Great. And can you describe a day in your life?
Yeah, I suppose like the average day, I kind of I've got my studio at home, so I'm pretty much in the studio, by sort of nine in the morning, and I kind of I just work in the studio. It depends what kind of projects I'm working on. I'll probably speak to other friends or kind of creatives that I'm working with about different aspects of the project. So I try and get most of the sort of like admin bits of my work finished in the morning, and then in the afternoon it's kind of quieter in the studio, and that's when I get time to kind of reflect about what I'm working on and to kind of spend time quietly working on whatever it is I'm doing. So those are kind of days in the studio, and then other times I'll be out visiting a screen printer that I work with, looking at proofs or kind of making work, and then probably sort of like once a week maybe I'll travel up to London for meetings, and I'll probably see an exhibition as well and meet friends. So yeah, I kind of most of the time when I'm working in the studio, I'm kind of working on my own, but I kind of feel connected with the people that I'm working with through through various means that we have now. So yeah, and then yeah, towards the end of the day, just kind of finish off, and in the evenings, just kind of relax and kind of reflect about the work I was doing during the day and think about what I want to achieve the next day.
Great. And lifelong learning is a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
I think through through kind of engaging in lots of different kind of creative inspiration, really. So going to see films. I really enjoy watching films at our local cinema, and then kind of going along to events, kind of exhibitions or talks by other people, and yeah, just sort of like generally mixing with other creatives and kind of having conversations about what they're up to, and yeah, just kind of like delving into different people's stories really. But yeah, and I think through social media, I learn a lot about what's going on, and I just sort of generally keep up on what my kind of friends are up to really, to get that the kind of sense of where they're going with their work and how that can potentially inform my work as well. I also give lots of talks as well. So I visit colleges and design conferences. So the good thing about doing things like that is you get to see other creatives presenting their work and kind of talking about their other projects. So yeah, just sort of generally keeping my eyes and ears open into what's happening in the world, and how that informs my work and how I want to make comments about how I see the world around me.
Great. And tools, what tools do you use? Can you talk about digital as well as analog tools?
Yes, but yeah, but I suppose I work as much digitally as I do with kind of analog tools. So um, obviously letterpress, typography, and screen print are kind of like large parts of my practice. But I also work digitally, so I use the kind of regular programs that everybody uses, and yeah, but I find that combination between traditional craft techniques and digital means is really important. So the work kind of originates as a kind of handmade, hand crafted object, but then through digital you can disseminate it through social media and through websites and everything. It's sort of yeah, it's kind of the best of both worlds really, I think.
Great. And halfway number 10, can you talk about work life slash life work balance?
Yeah, well, yeah, I work at home, and yeah, I live with my wife, and we've got two grown-up children now. Both our children are in their mid-20s and beginning their kind of life journeys. So we're in a kind of um, phase now where we can both spend time doing things that we're both really interested in. So my wife's a gardener, and she spends a lot of time outside working in the garden, and she also works with friends at a local garden that she works with. And I think for me personally, I like to spend time out in the studio, um, getting inspiration from lots of different things that I see. I really enjoy music and going to music gigs and festivals and things. So yeah, I think but I really enjoy work as well. Kind of for me, I get as much kind of satisfaction out of working as I do doing other things really. And I'm kind of constantly thinking about the work and what I can do next with it. So yeah, it's kind of yeah, I kind of just really enjoy what I do really, and kind of enjoy um, the different things that I can do, with work and where it takes me.
Great. And 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
It's really hard to imagine, but when I was at school, I was really good at geography. So I always kind of thought if I hadn't pursued an art career, then I might end up being a geography teacher in school. So yeah, I really enjoy. Um, yeah, yeah, maybe a geography teacher. I think I would be quite good at
What would you not like to do with your career?
that. Have a full-time job working for somebody who, yeah, I didn't like. But
Mm.
yeah, luckily I've never really had a full-time job. I've always kind of worked independently. So yeah, I think yeah, that would be my worst nightmare.
Great. And do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Um, Yeah, well, I think it'd have to be work hard and be nice to people. That's my best known piece of work. I produced that 20 years ago, and it still feels relevant, and people are still interested in it. So yeah, and I think it's good. It's a good way to live your life as well. To yeah, just to kind of meet everybody. On a kind of yeah, just be generally okay with people. I think that's the main thing.
Great. And how about a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
I don't know really. I don't really feel that strongly. I think it's yeah. I don't know really. Yeah, I haven't really got any thoughts on that one.
Okay. And you're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word would it be?
Um, hmm, hopefully, let me think. That's a tricky one. Amusing.
Hmm. What keeps you up at night?
Um, caffeine, I suppose, which I've tried to kind of cut out of my life.
Do you have a dream you're chasing?
Um, I don't know, but I kind of feel like I've achieved so many things that I've wanted to achieve. But yeah, but I think as a creative, you're always trying to prove things to yourself. So yeah, still got things I want to achieve and still things I want to do. So yeah, that keeps me motivated.
Great. And what inspires you?
Um, I think life inspires me really. Waking up in the morning and just experiencing the the experience of being alive. Really, I find inspiring. So and interactions with other human beings and interactions with nature and interactions with art and music.
Great. And the last couple here, any advice you'd like to share?
Yeah, I suppose whatever you choose to do creatively, just stick at it. Kind of you'll only get really good results if you really explore things in depth. Really, you have to kind of be fully committed to creative work, and it's something that to get good at it takes a long time, and you have to continually be thinking about your work and how you can develop it. So yeah, be persistent and make connections through your work.
Great. And finally, number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you? What's our call to action?
Yeah, through Instagram, I suppose mainly, but at Anthony Burrill. So yeah, that's my thing that I update most really. I kind of post stuff every few days really. So yeah, mainly Instagram and my website as well, anthonyburrill.com.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being on. So great to extend the typography episodes and in particular beyond the artistic side of that. I think it's a great contribution. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me along. Thank you.